The number one boot camp that I would say is understand how lottery accounting for your company works. That's the highest level that you can understand. Then you can come up with some KPIs and then drill down into stores that are having issues.
Hello and welcome to Shelf Confidence, a podcast brought to you by the Pennsylvania Food Merchants Association that focuses on the trends and innovations of the food and beverage industry. I'm John Zimmerman, your host, and today we're talking lottery. It's a big part of businesses for a lot of retailers, but managing can be challenging between theft and tracking and all the manual work. My guest is Reza Mahmoodi, CEO and co-founder of LottoShield. After years of running gas stations and dealing with these problems himself, he helped create a tool to make lottery management faster, easier, and a lot more secure. We'll get into what he does, how it helps, and what's coming up next. So, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much, John. Thank you for having me. I'm
Yeah.
excited to be on here.
No, we're excited to have you. So we're just going to dive right in. I'd love to know a little bit about the story of LottoShield. Love to know what sparked this idea and what got this all started.
As you mentioned, we've been in the business for, that's how we kind of came up with the idea. I started in the business in 2009. My family's been in it since the late 80s. So I started running gas stations right out of college at the age of 21 and dealt with everything. I've done everything in the gas stations, from cleaning bathrooms to building them from the ground up. And, there are a lot of moving parts, but lottery was always it was always a challenge figuring out how to do it. Sometimes I'd be like sitting in the office and be like, I wonder if my managers are actually doing those manual logs or like checking everything. We didn't have any huge theft incidences. We did have one, which was a referral from a family friend,
Mm-hmm.
and we got taken for about $10,000 in about 3 weeks.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of
They
money.
were yeah, they were stealing whole packs.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
after that, we're like, these manual logs, they don't really help. So we started looking at like solutions out there. We're like, okay, the back office that we were using at the time, we're like, they have a lottery module. Let's start messing with that and start using it. And in the middle of doing that, I was like, this is this is way too complicated. Just like this is harder than the paper log. So the idea came out that, hey, let's build something that's completely tailored towards lottery because this is big enough of a problem on its own. So in 2019, me and my brother had been running stores for many years together. Uh, Him and I, and then along with one of our friends, Seb, the three of us got together and we started building and testing different things. And here we are today, helping thousands of retailers across the US.
No, I think that's great. So, yeah, I just want to talk about that a little bit. So it's just hard for me to get my head around this as just such a digital native. Like people would actually just use clipboards and pens and paper and record this before your system. Is that really how this worked?
You'd be surprised how many big retailers actually still use a pen and a spreadsheet to do it. Now
Wow.
that spreadsheet is transferred to like maybe Excel,
Sure, sure.
and a lot of people do use a lottery module in their back office software, but still, it's still all a manual process, and anybody can manipulate it within the system.
No, I could totally imagine that. I mean, just the idea of that type of like manual inventorying essentially is yeah, I can just I'm obviously not a professional in Lotto Shield, but that just on the surface sounds like that would be a problem.
It's like when you go to the casinos on the tables and everything, there's like 50 cameras.
Oh yeah,
Imagine
no.
if they were tracking everything by paper and just like people were looking at everyone, making sure everything is okay. That's in essence what we do at the C stores,
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I imagine like back in the 40s and 50s in the Bellagio, I mean like you had no choice. But I can't even imagine them doing that in Vegas today. Like that doesn't sound like that'd be something
right?
we consider best practices. So, but yeah, so we obviously we've established that these lottery thefts can hit retailers. Sometimes obviously you're saying costing thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. So how does Lotto Shield help cut down on those losses? How does this work?
There's two pieces to it, but I'll talk about the theft piece right now. So what our system does is it integrates with the register, the inventory audits, and the next main piece that we do is we integrate with the state lotteries. So that allows us to really find theft. So first thing we do is we point out small pieces of theft that happen, like a dollar shortage, $2 shortage, and that allows for the owners or managers to quickly like there's a $1 issue. Let's go train on it. And that keeps it from becoming a larger issue. The second piece is, there's a lot of pack level theft that lead to those large losses, like I told you about our case. Large retailers that have, you know, 20, 30, 50 stores, hundreds of stores, they experience single theft incidences that are between $30,000 and like over $100,000 a couple times, a few times a year.
My
Uh,
goodness.
so our system tracks that and protects against that automatically. But I guess the main thing that I didn't say in the beginning is how do we help? Is we generally take the whole human element out of this lottery management. So you're not counting on your managers to make sure that this lottery is being managed properly. It's basically you do your audits and that's it. Everything else is done on the back end by us. You're basically hiring a team of like 15, 20 people to do
Mhm.
all your lottery for you.
Okay. So if retailers had to go through some kind of lottery security boot camp, what are the most over the top but somehow totally necessary training exercises that you think you might include?
I would say the thing that has helped me the most was understanding how lottery works from the state level down to the accounting level in the office. Really understanding what does a payout actually mean at the store? What does a draw game actually mean? Are you actually selling a product or are you on consignment? Like understanding the flow of money for lottery through your system, like if someone asks you any kind of question, that's the number one boot camp I would say is sit down and understand because people get money taken out of their account, put into their account, out of their account, put into their account, and they don't even know why. They don't know what that number means. Like they got, $1,200 taken out of their account. They have no idea. So really look into it. So that's what I would say. The number one boot camp that I would say is understand how lottery accounting for your company works. That's the highest level that you can understand. Then you can come up with some KPIs and then drill down into stores that are having issues.
Learn how to follow the money, basically.
Basically, learn how to follow the money because that is what's going to tell you the truth. Now, you can say, hey, let's make sure paper logs are being done, but okay, if they are getting done, great. Well, you need to make sure they're getting done. So look at the high level. If they're not getting done, look at the high level. Everything starts from there. So if I were to say the boot camp is understand lottery.
Cool. So, well, speaking of the manual component of this, obviously manual inventory checks are a pain, and as we've established, very easy to mess up and mistakes happen. So, how does your system make that process easier and more accurate?
The manual process is employees need to write down numbers every single shift or once a day. So you're writing down numbers and then they have to do math to make sure it all matters. It's very simple arithmetic, but when you're doing it, people mess it up. The second piece into that is let's say they're doing one every shift. There's three pieces of paper every day that now the manager at the next morning needs to reconcile.
Mm.
Every single morning, look at that, make sure it matches with the register. How do we make that easier? Well, we have a simple scanner that can be trained in like you show it to someone once. You don't even need to show it to them. They can just grab it, click a button, and scan.
Oh,
And
like the
that's
grocery store, like a QR scanner, like just you'd see at the store.
it's yeah, it's honestly I would even say easier than some of that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Because you don't need to log into it, nothing. You just click a button and you start scanning. 30 seconds, 45 seconds, depending on how many tickets you have in your store, and that's it. The manager doesn't need to reconcile. The employees, if they missed scanning two or three tickets, our system alerts you. If they didn't do an audit, our system alerts you. So all of a sudden, you have this system that's going to work for you. So how does it make it easier? It's a night and day difference. So when you said how does it stop loss, the first piece is theft. That's the second piece that nobody realizes the amount of time savings in this.
So, time saving, human error, preventing theft.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like quite a grab bag of good things to have. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
cool. So, adding obviously, there's a lot of different kind of lottery games out there. My family traditionally just puts them in the stocking at Christmas is usually how we end up doing our
Yeah.
interaction with lottery. That's a common story. But yeah, so obviously adding new lottery games can be a hassle. How does LottoShield make it easier for retailers to get new games into their system, especially before they even show up in the stores?
So we do it a couple different ways. Larger retailers, we put it directly into their enterprise, software, and then that pushes it to their systems. For smaller retailers, we push it directly to their register. So UPC, name, price, we know it before the state even ships it to their stores, and we have an integration with the point of sale, so we just push it right in for them, and it's ready to scan right when when they get the packs.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds really very easy, very user friendly.
Yeah, very easy. We're all about like how do we make lottery management easier for the stores.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, user experience is kind of a big deal. So,
Very
well,
good,
I
especially
totally
in
get it.
today's world.
Yeah, no, for sure. So cool. So you've teamed up, for what I understand, is you've teamed up with companies like National Retail Solutions. How do partnerships like that help retailers who are using LottoShield?
So National Retail Solutions, or NRS, allows us to support like smaller retailers, one, two, or three site operators. And then what it allows for those retailers is now they have a point of sale vendor that is in partnership with us. And what does that partnership do? It allows for NRS to give us different data points on lottery. So different sale. So we get the sales feed for the lottery for their stores, and we can create that automation for them. So
Okay.
we automatically reconcile it for them. Whereas before we couldn't do that for NRS customers. So when NRS customers would come to us, we'd say, we can't work with you, but now we can work with them easily.
Oh, cool. Oh, it's good to have the databases talking to databases, I imagine. That's probably a handy tool.
Yeah. And NRS they really do work with these single site operators. They don't have an upfront cost, which is nice. So
Cool. So, before we move on to some other stuff here, I was curious. So be honest, what is the wildest attempt at a lotto fraud that you've ever heard of? Like, did someone actually think photocopying the ticket would work?
you actually want to know one of the wilder stories I've heard?
I do. I really do.
So yeah, I don't want to say it's crazy wild, but it was definitely one that I hadn't seen. So I can talk about 30, 40, $50,000 losses, but this one was and they found this with LottoShield actually. So it was an
Okay.
ex-manager that has keys to the store. So right when the store was closing around 10:30 at night, the manager had the keys, was walking into the store, disarming the alarm system, going into the back, taking a whole pack of tickets, activating it, and walking out the store every night.
Hmm.
So, you know, that's one of the wildest stories that I've seen, honestly. I wouldn't say it's that crazy, but it's very interesting. So make sure you change your locks when you change your manager.
Yes. Oh, so this was a manager who no longer worked
This
there.
was an ex-manager, not the
Oh my
current manager.
goodness.
An ex-manager was doing this.
Oh man, yeah, that sounds a wee bit criminal to say the least, I would
Yes,
think.
absolutely.
So if AI ran the lotto counter, do you think it would stop all of these thefts, or do you think it would just play the numbers itself, win big and then just retire? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Depends on if we're getting to Terminator status, maybe it would. It wouldn't even need to win big. It just hacked the system.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? We've had people sign up for Lotto Shield thinking it was going to help them win the lottery.
Really?
Yeah.
Like this was the inside track?
Yeah, they're like, this is going to help us win the lottery. Believe it or not, there's a lot of software out there that helps you
Oh, I'm
to like
sure.
predict numbers and buy different things. So,
I wonder about that. Obviously, with AI being what it is and all the developments that we're seeing all the day. Like I use it for ChatGPT a lot, but like you can really do some predictive modeling with that. Like there's got to be some mathematician in a grad program right now trying to figure out a way. How do I go to grad school and win the lottery at the same time? You know what I mean? Like that's got to be a
oh,
thing.
it's every time I use it, I'm blown away. Like you can upload spreadsheets to it and
Oh
have
yeah.
it analyze things and yeah, it's pretty wild.
Gonna obviously we're talking about Terminator, we're talking about artificial intelligence, but not every single store is gonna have people that are gonna be all that tech savvy. There's gonna be that element of operator. How do you make Lotto Shield simple enough for anyone to use?
There's multiple elements to this. So the first piece is we try to make it so that the scanning process is so easy that when I tell you it's intuitive, you just grab it and do it. Any of them will know how to do it because they mostly have scanners in their stores. So that piece is easy. Um, the second piece is the portal. So when you log into the portal with 2 to 3 clicks, you can find out where the issue is. Like it's very intuitive. That's how we built it, to be as intuitive possible. And also, we got a little inspiration from the current manual spreadsheets and stuff. So the current spreadsheets and stuff, if you look at our portal, you can see kind of, oh, there's inspiration from there. So so operators that are not tech savvy will know that sheet extremely well. They'll be like, oh, I recognize this. So we've taken inspiration from there. And the third element, if their stores are doing well, we send them a daily email that gives them a quick summary. It's so simple that if everything is good, they move on with it. They don't even need to log in. But I'd say the number one thing that really helps is we have a great support team. We respond in under 1 minute. Our support is from 6 a.m. Eastern time to 8 p.m. Eastern time. And basically, if you have questions, if you need to go through the portal, someone's there to help you right away and figure it out. But it's so easy. Most people don't even, reach out to us.
No, I totally believe that. We live in an age of self-checkout where everybody's very familiar
Yeah.
with the QR codes and the scanners and stuff. Even my dad can use the QR codes at the bar to figure out what the draft menu is. I'm sure. I imagine
Right?
it's yeah.
Exactly. With COVID also,
Oh yeah.
the whole QR code on your phone and the menus became big.
Oh no, I love it. Watching my parents discover that in real time that like, oh, I can do this on my phone. I don't have to talk to the server. I can just
Yeah.
look at the menu here. Oh, okay, great. No, it was interesting watching that happen in real time.
Yeah, it
Um
definitely.
but yeah, so we're talking about some of these emails and some of the portals in the back end, which kind of brings me to my next question is tell me a little bit about the insights and the reports that LottoShield provides. Like how do you help these retailers make smarter decisions about their lottery sales?
We have a high open rate on as our emails. We send it to everybody every day for their summary of their stores. They have a lot of stores, it's a spreadsheet, but it's basically like managers and owners. Hey, this was your scratcher over and short, your draw games and your payouts. This is how many games were activated, settled. This is how many packs you have missing in your store. Or there were no audits done in your store today. We give them that information. If everything is good, they move on with their day. It's like 20 seconds. Now, if you get into the portal, what kind of reports and information do we give? We have all kinds of filters that allow them to filter by stores that are consistently short, stores that haven't done audits. And then if they want to export that stuff into a CSV, it's like 30, 25 columns. So there's a lot of information in there. The number of voids that an employee voids are like triggers for like, hey, why are you voiding an item, especially lottery? So if there's a voided ticket and then there's a shortage following it, that's a trigger for us. Voids followed
Hmm.
by short. So there's a lot of reports that we have in there to help retailers really pinpoint the issues and that can help them. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah, we live in such a data-driven society, especially nowadays. Having those analytics, I imagine, are a handy tool.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Cool. So, while we're still on this topic here a little bit, so switching to a new system can feel overwhelming. What is the onboarding process like for stores, and how do you help them keep things running smoothly?
That's a good question. And it's a question we've always asked ourselves from day one. So day one, our system, we were installing it for people. So we're in California. All our first customers were in California, and we were installing it at their stores. It was taking 1 to 2 hours for installation in person. And now today, it's like 60% of our customers self-install, don't even call us. And
Nice.
if it takes about 10 to 15 minutes. Our goal has been to figure out how to make this as easy as possible and as fast as possible to install. We always brag about there's a 160 site operator in California. It took them 2 weeks to install the system in all their stores.
That's pretty good. No, that's been a theme through a lot of our conversation here is just ease of use. I can see
E-
that obviously having value, obviously, you know.
It's so important for us. It's so important for us to make it easy to install.
Cool. So if you could add one over-the-top security feature to stop lottery theft, what would it be? Fingerprint scanning, a retinal scan, maybe a full-on escape room challenge before you get your winning ticket? What security systems would you put in place?
Let's see if I could put one over the top security feature. Well, if I did that, then I would hope that LottoShield owns that security feature. We don't want to go out of business, but yeah, but no, if there was a camera that watched them or a robot that watched them, and honestly, if we had a robot working in the stores, we probably wouldn't have this issue. But
One day, I imagine.
uh,
So, looking to the future, what's next for Lotto Shield? Are there any new features or improvements in the pipeline? Talk about the future.
So we're focused on lottery. We don't have any plans of becoming focused on other things other than lottery. So I think that we have a few things definitely in the pipeline, things that will allow us to expand to all kinds of retailers that sell lottery. And we have stuff in the pipeline that will allow us to increase lottery revenue for stores. Since we haven't released them yet, I can't really talk deeply about them, but yes, we definitely have a few new products that are being developed or have been developed right now as we speak that we plan to you know, bring to market in later in this year.
Cool. So, obviously, we are a Pennsylvania-based organization. My understanding is you guys are doing some expansions here in Pennsylvania, that you guys have a large presence. I'd love to know a little bit more about your Pennsylvania operation.
We're in Pennsylvania. It's one of our top states. We really love, and that's why we're a part of this association. The folks in Pennsylvania are great. We have a couple big customers there, and they've been great to work with. So it's definitely one of our top 5 states, and we are excited for the growth that we're seeing there, and helping retailers protect their lottery there.
Oh, I think that's amazing. Is there any other information you'd like to share with our audience about the work you guys are doing?
I can tell you our number one focus is to help retailers with lottery management. And you have a team of people here that come to work every single day, and all they think about is how do we make this better and easier for lottery retailers and our customers.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Reza. This has been a great conversation. Big thanks to Reza Mahmoodi, CEO and co-founder of LottoShield, for joining us today and sharing his insights on lottery management and retail innovation. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, John. I really appreciate it. Thank you to, Pennsylvania, and we look forward to, expanding and growing with you guys.
No, we look forward to that too. So if you want to learn a little bit more about LottoShield, head over to LottoShield.com to see how they're helping retailers protect their inventory and simplify operations. Thank you for tuning in to Shelf Confidence. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave us a review on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, or wherever you listen. Until next time, I'm John Zimmerman, and this is Shelf Confidence.